We're standing by our mobile home in Avignon on a campsite on the other side of the Rhone River.
Da ist sie, die berühmte Brücke von Avignon.
A small ferry will take us to the old town. To our right is Avignon's famous stone bridge, the Pont Saint-Benezet. Of its 23 arches built over the Rhone in the 14th century, only 4 arches survived the flood of 1668, so the bridge today ends in the river. The ferry stops just below the Rocher des Dames rocky outcrop, which played a key role in protecting the city of Avignon from its foundation and development in the Middle Ages. Today, the area up here is a well-visited public park, because from up here we also have a particularly beautiful view of the Saint-Benezet Bridge. In the immediate vicinity of this park, in front of a huge square with many stylish buildings, are the main attractions of Avignon, the cathedral, and the Palais de Pape. Unfortunately, we cannot visit the cathedral because of the construction work, so we buy tickets to visit the papal palace.
Sieht ja echt imposant aus.
With the ticket, we receive a tray with an interactive guide. It takes a little getting used to using it, but we get a good impression of the former spatial conditions and how they were used.
Das Konsistorium, der Empfangsraum des Papstes.
The poet Jean-François described the papal palace at the time as the most beautiful and overwhelming estate in the world. The palace was built on the Rocher des Dames, the only hill that was close enough to the Rhone and on which the Notre Dame Cathedral also stands. The papal palace was mainly built by Benedict XII and Clement VI, the third and fourth French popes. The rooms are very high, and we're led up and down stairs through this multi-story palace. We're also in the rear outdoor area, which, however, is very small in comparison. The papal palace was the residence of 7 popes from 1309 to 1417. That it happened had to do with the French King Philip IV. In 1309, through political intrigues, he pushed through the election of a French pope who resided not in Rome but in Avignon. We are then surprised that in the lower area there is a wine fair with tastings by the wine growers from Provence. However, we then realized that this area is also the Avignon Congress Centrum. Unfortunately, we weren't offered a glass to try. Avignon's heart has always beaten at the Place d'Horloge. The esplanade, which used to house the Roman Forum, acquired its current appearance in the 19th century. Today, On one side of the square are the terraces of cafes and restaurants. Opposite are the facades of the town hall and the theater from the 19th century. From time to time, you have to take care of your physical well-being. I notice a food stand at a crossroads. There are crepes with different ingredients. So then we strike first before we continue.
Mein Käseding hier, das läuft immer noch.
A few steps lead up to the portal of the St. Agricole Collegiate Church, which was built in the 7th century. The tympanum above the main portal is a polychrome work and dates from 1489. Inside, we admire the high altar in Baroque style, whose lead case contains the relics of St. Agricole. The Chapel of the Poor Women was financed by a family from Avignon in 1547.
Dahinter verbirgt sich eine Kapelle.
Continue along the Ringstrasse and then to the 14th century city walls. It is approximately 4 kilometers long and is flanked by 39 towers and 7 main gates. We walk for a while through the pedestrian zone, which is rarely visited at lunchtime, until we come to Les Halles Market Hall, with its overgrown exterior facade. Unfortunately, this has been closed since 2 p.m.
Der Wochenmarkt hat ja leider zu. Aber dafür finden wir einen Antiquitätenmarkt vor.
But there is a flea market on Place P in front of it, mainly with African souvenirs.
Wer noch etwas für Fasching oder Karneval braucht, ist hier gut aufgehoben. Brauchst du noch irgendwas, was du schon immer haben wolltest?
Surely we could have spent another day here to visit all the sights, but the rich impressions of today are enough for us. Tomorrow we continue east.